Hey everybody, it's Dan with Pain Free You. Got kind of a weird glow on my face in this video. It's pretty early, the sun is just coming up, but I gotta show you this. Look at this amazing sunrise behind me. And it's so cool because I get the silhouettes of the trees with that orange glow behind me. It is absolutely stunning. So I've got to face the sunrise. I can't keep that in the background because otherwise the camera automatic exposure just adjusts and won't be able to really see very much. Today's topic, I want to take a stab at anxiety. And it's not a topic I've covered a heck of a lot. But let me take a stab at it. Anxiety. I believe that anxiety doesn't always just jump out of the woods and glom itself onto us. I think we play a participatory role in creating the anxiety. And anxiety is nothing more than worrying spiraling out of control. And what is worrying? It's an imagination that's based on past pain and projecting that into the future. So let's unpack this a little bit. Anxiety is real. You feel it in your body. And sometimes, since we feel emotions and feel fear in our bodies, sometimes the body can bring up that feeling, and it does seem like it comes out of nowhere. The real question is, what do you do with it when it happens? Do you wake up with anxious thoughts? Do you go to sleep with anxious thoughts? Do you drive to work with anxious thoughts? Do you go to a family gathering with anxious thoughts? Worried about something that's not even happening in the moment. And so I'm not saying this to say you're creating your anxiety. Sometimes the body remembers past fears and holds on to that energy, and sometimes it just kind of comes up and puts us in that anxious state. So I will validate that that is actually happening. But I will also tell you that you can choose how you react to it. I always talk about how you react to your pain. That's a choice. How do you react to your symptoms? That's a choice. You can lay in bed freaking out and catastrophizing about your horrible future, or you can breathe deep and say, this is temporary, I've got this, I've survived this countless times before, and I'll survive this too, and breathe deep and take a whatever. I don't give a crap about my symptoms. And so I'm suggesting that you can take the same attitude of indifference about anxiety. Look, if you wake up and you're anxious today, okay, so what? You're anxious. No big deal. Feel it. So many people run away from, I hate this. The anxiety is almost worse than the pain. Yeah, I get it. But it's also not dangerous. Even anxiety attacks, panic attacks, they feel awful. They're extremely uncomfortable. They're unpleasant. But they're not dangerous. And so anxiety is literally worrying about a future event that's not even happening right now. It's imagined. Fear is valid. If I'm outside, and you can't tell because the camera is adjusting for the light, but it's fairly dark right now. This is a little bit more of the realistic lightness and brightness out here. So it's kind of dark out here right now. Fortunately, when I face the sunrise, you get a little bit more light. But my point is, I'm out here right at the edge of some woods. I have no bear in the area. That's fortunate. But if a bear did jump out, I should feel fear. That's what fear is there for. It's to keep me safe. And it's to keep me safe from real and present imminent danger, right? That's what fear is for. If I am, see a bear coming at me, I better be afraid. And that turns on the fight or flight, which turns on blood flow to my major muscle groups so I can run as fast as possible or fight. Not that I'm going to win a fight with a bear. But my point is, fear holds a purpose. Anxiety is fear over an imaginary future event. And let that sink in. Anxiety is fear over an imaginary future event or future scenario. And so we do play a participatory role in that. And look, again, sometimes the anxiety's in our body and we just, like, that's the, Eckhart Tolle uses the term, the fear body, right? And the body is where we feel emotions. So if we have had lots of fear in the past, the body can remember that, and that emotional energy can sometimes kind of well up and seemingly come out of nowhere. But how do you respond to that? And let's say you do find yourself in a panic attack and oh my God, this is awful. And you're freaking out and you can't breathe and you're just freaking out. And you can literally shift. You can shift your presence from that, oh no, to just with your breath. Just get still, get calm, look around. Nothing in your environment changed, but simply by changing your presence and your breath, you get very real. You get out of this future imagined event and into the present, where things are safe, things are calm. Your environment, if you're in a house with the roof over your head and heat and electricity and nothing is going on, you are safe. Despite this anxiety that comes kind of welling out of your body, you are safe. So we can shift our anxiety like that. We literally can, just by becoming aware of the fact that we're all, oh no, oh, this is awful, right? We're in a complete panic. We're freaking out. We are so anxious and we are dreading this horrible day ahead of us, this horrible life ahead of us. And that's where I use the term choice. We can choose our reactions to what's going on in our bodies. And my suggestion for anxiety is, whatever, I'm anxious today, so what? But allow yourself to notice it. Take a step out of the anxiety and that panic and that short breathing and just take that breath. Open your eyes and look around and realize you are safe, right? This future imagined scenario, your future awful life is not happening right now. Yes, you may be in pain. Yes, you may be uncomfortable. Yes, you may have some kind of freaky symptoms that's freaking you out. But just realize you're in the right place. You've got TMS, mind-body syndrome, distraction, pain, distraction symptoms, stress illness. But freaking out over stress illness is not going to make them better. So if you've got anxiety that rides along with your symptoms, or let's say your symptoms start to lift up a little bit and you get the anxiety, some of that anxiety is just the remembered or the memory of those emotions. And sometimes it can come up. And so what I'm going to encourage you to do is to choose to bring yourself out of that imagined future anxiety and fear and just a couple of deep breaths and look around and validate the reality, the present reality, which is you are safe and life can be beautiful. It doesn't have to be full of these anxious, future-based, fear-based thoughts. And so that is one way that you can shift an anxiety attack very, very quickly. And I also taught in a different video how to, I think it was called How, the most important question you can ask. Again, the video is called How, the most important question you can ask. And it's all about, sometimes we literally create the anxiety out of thin air with our thoughts. So if you wake up in the morning and your first thought is, how am I feeling? Oh no, yesterday was pretty bad. oh shit, today's going to be awful. I have too much to do. I can't, yesterday I could barely move. And then, 10 thoughts later, you're in a complete anxiety attack. You're just freaking yourself out like, oh, this is going to be awful, 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 awful. And you're still laying in bed, completely safe. But through a single thought, followed by more thoughts and more thoughts and more thoughts and more thoughts, we can literally create out of thin air these feelings of anxiety and these feelings of fear of what's going to come. And when you step back and go and look around, you say, I'm safe. And when you remember that you're a survivor, and even though it sucked yesterday, you'll make it through today. And so I'm going to suggest that you take the attitude of whatever today brings, it brings. But worrying about it isn't going to help it be better. It's only going to potentially make it worse. Just take an attitude of indifference towards these anxious feelings. And just also realize that I told you to, in that first video, how the most important question you can ask is literally deconstruct and document. Literally get out a piece of paper and write down exactly how you create anxiety simply through your thoughts. I mean, remember the last time you had significant anxiety? How did it happen? Where did it start? What thought was the trigger that got you down this snowball accumulating of more and more and more anxiety? And so by deconstructing it, you're going to notice, okay, so this is what happened first. I had this thought, and then I had that thought, and 10 thoughts later, you're completely freaked out about what the day's going to hold for you. And so by doing that, you have the ability to become aware of when it is going to happen, or when it is happening. So let's say you find yourself with that fearful thought in the morning, and then you're on to thought 2, and then thought 3. You can go, whoa, I'm doing it again. Shift. Let me, instead of going down that path, which I know yesterday led me to this anxiety-filled morning, let me instead turn to gratitude. Let me instead turn to this knowledge that I'm safe. Things are beautiful. I am safe. I'm looking around me, right? Because we can literally go down that path and follow these fear-based thoughts into this place called anxiety and find ourselves really in a panic. Or we can notice it and shift, do that deep breath, and look around and notice that what was happening a few seconds ago, this fear-based panic and shortness of breath, and really just, we can, with the thought, a shift of a thought, and a simple awareness of the present, and a deep breath, and then we look around, and we go, okay, wait a minute. I am actually safe right now. And then you decide, you choose not to continue down those fear-based thoughts that lead you to this full-blown anxiety attack. So I hope I'm doing the topic justice here. I'm trying to give you some strategies to deconstruct how your thoughts create anxiety. And I also hopefully gave you that strategy of when it does really feel like it comes out of nowhere. If it kind of wells up out of your body from the memory of these emotions in your body, if it seemingly comes out of nowhere, I do want you to just really take a step out of this future-based, I'm so anxious, and look around. Wow. You haven't changed anything in your environment. You're still sitting in the same place or in the same location, and just realize that I am safe. And even if this feeling of anxiety comes about while you're out in public or driving, you can still take that pause. Okay, I'm in the middle of a store somewhere, or the mall, or wherever, or I'm driving down the road. You can still go, I am safe. Right? So does this stuff make sense? Does it help? Does it give you some options as opposed to feeling the anxiety and just rolling with it and finding yourself having a hell of a day just because the anxiety is awful and I don't know how to get rid of it? Well, here's a couple of strategies. And even if this stuff doesn't work completely, choose your response to it. And I've said it before. So you're feeling anxious today. So what? Whatever. Today's going to be an anxious day. Tomorrow will be a better day. Whatever. No big deal, right? Same thing with your pain or symptoms. Okay, so you wake up and, oh, I'm stiff today. Don't go down this anxious trail of, oh no, I woke up stiff yesterday and by noon I was in a horrible place. No, whatever. You made it through yesterday, you'll make it through today. And this attitude of whatever and indifference will absolutely help you have a better day. It will help you see some of the funny things in life. It will help you find joy and purpose and meaning. So much of this is choice and awareness and decision. And yeah, some strategies help. And I'm hoping that some of these things I'm giving you here today will help you if you suffer with anxiety. So just remember, if you feel it coming out of your body and it feels like it's coming out of nowhere, or it's just a programmed thing that happens every day, you wake up and bam, there it is. Take that deep breath. Look around. Yes, I am safe. I'm a warrior. I survived yesterday. I'm going to survive today. And now let me think about gratitude. You know, it's hard to be grateful and be anxious at the same time. So if you are aware that you're going down these thoughts that lead you to anxiety on a pretty predictable basis, instead of going, thought 1 through 10 that ends up in a panic attack or anxiety attack, notice when you're on step 2 or 3 and go, wait, time out. And then shift your focus intentionally with purpose to say, I'm going to focus on gratitude. I'm safe. Safety and gratitude are 2 great go-to places, especially when you're feeling anxious. And they're also great when you're just focusing on your pain. When I say shift your focus away from the pain, people are like, but what else can I think of when it hurts so bad? Gratitude. Safety. Yes, I am safe. So I'm going to give you a little bit more of a view of this sunrise. I think that's all I've got to say about this. Hopefully you found it helpful. Let me know if it did. Start to put some of these strategies into play. Try it the next time you're feeling anxious. Deconstruct it. Literally write out, what are the steps you just took the last time you got into a real anxiety state? And by deconstructing it, you'll notice when you're going down that same dark path again, and you can shift to gratitude. You can literally take that deep breath, recognize that you are safe, and you'd be surprised at how quickly, through this awareness and choice and how you react to this feeling of anxiety, how fast you can shift away from it. So I hope you guys are loving the sunrise. It's just about 7 a.m. here, and I'm shooting this on Christmas Day. I know you guys are going to think I'm nuts. Everybody, a few people have said, oh, I hope you're not working on Christmas Day. Honestly, I don't feel like this is work. I love talking to you guys and gals. I love sharing this stuff. I love the feedback. I love knowing that you people are implementing this stuff and making changes and getting better and doing so much better. And as you look back at where you were weeks, months, years ago, and where you are today, you know that you're making progress and you're getting better, and so much better in many cases. You're seeing there's a way out. So I love doing this, and you guys are why. So thank you for watching. Hopefully this gave you some tips on anxiety, some strategies on how to shift that so you're not spending quite as many days in that anxious state, which can feel very noticeably unpleasant. So I love you guys and gals. Hope you found it useful. Comment below. Let me know what you think, and we will see you in the next video. Thanks.